Good morning, everyone. Merry stupid o'clock. Thank you for coming to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. And as always, at stupid o'clock, we're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we get going, a few things and then the usual disclaimers. So I noticed this morning while checking my comments that I have a few new subscribers due to my JD versus AH video that I put out yesterday. So if you are wondering, what the hell is the JRC and why should I care? Ooh, boy, you are in for a rude awakening. The Stop the Shots campaign is a campaign that was gotten together to fight the JRC. The JRC stands for the Judge Rotenberg Center, also known as the Behavioral Research Institute. If you want more information as to what is going on, that is what the description box is all about. This place has been abusing and torturing people with disabilities for nigh onto 30 years, with several public cases against it. It also hit international news back in 2012 when Cheryl McCollins, the mother of Andre McCollins, brought a lawsuit against the JRC. And the video that we had been gunning for years to get to be played before a jury was seen for the first time live. We do have the link to that video, by the way, in the description box, where Andre McCollins was placed on a 4-point board for refusing to remove his coat, restrained, face down with a helmet over his head, and shocked with painful skin shocks over 31 times. Those shock levels, folks, are just below the lethal limit. So please go ahead and take a look at all the information we have provided to kind of get caught up with everything, all right? Okay, for those already caught up, you're going to see the link to this December the 13th, 2016 investigative report done by the DPPC right there in the description box alongside the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject where we get the bulk of materials on this particular school from for this channel. You're also going to see templates. Now, for those of you who are new, what are templates? Templates are what I like to call the stupid-proof vehicle created by ASAN, Autism Self-Advocacy Network, so that you can basically sign your name and click on your senator where it takes less than 2 minutes. The particular templates we have the link for is to end adversive therapies. And what are adversive therapies? Well, I'll tell you. Adversive therapies are basically punishment for people engaging in behaviors that are common to their disability. Things such as people with autism who do hand flapping. For example, they'll be punished for that. Yeah, I wish I was kidding. Improper restraints. Now, folks, you may wonder, but nothing. Improper restraints kills kids every single year. I know, I've seen it. If you have any questions about it, I'd be happy to link you up with some more information. And also improper seclusion. All right. We also have the ever-present and self-explanatory Change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. Now, we're starting a new report of a confirmed incident of the abuse by the DPPC that was done back on December the 13th, 2016. So let's go ahead and dig into it this morning. The alleged victim, ALV, a person with disability as defined by MGI Chapter 19C and or CM 118 CMR. The alleged abuser, ALAB, does meet the definition of a caretaker as defined by MGI Chapter 19C and or 118 CMR. Okay. So, category of abuse committed by alleged abuser act, physical injuries. I love how they keep saying, but it's not causing physical injury. So, really? You're gonna sit there and still try to tell me that as of last incident that a belt doesn't cause injuries. Okay. First none, second none. Emotional injuries. First none, second none. I love how they determine whether or not it has caused emotional harm. Like, fucking really? Really? Moving on. Application of physical force in a manner that inflicts pain. Okay. Description of the act and or omission of the alleged abuser that caused the injury sustained by the alleged victim. Okay, before we go into this, a couple other disclaimers that I forgot. So, when we talk about the JRC, you're going to catch vivid descriptions of and see clips of surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused in an institutional environment. If you have young children present, please use your headphones, all right? And as you can see, folks, it is 3:19 a.m. Stupid o'clock a.m. in the damn morning. So if I stumble over any of my words, my apologies in advance, all right? Okay, let's get back to where I was here. ALV was in a classroom with cubicles and a few other students, but he wished to be placed in a conference room. There was no conference room available in the building she was in, so she was told that this was not possible. Safety concerns reportedly prevented her from being moved to the other building. ALV was upset and asking to talk to someone, and she became self-injurious. Oh my god, it's their goddamn go-to. See, whenever the JRC wants to use something in order to make them have less responsibility for incident abuse, they always claim that we're being self-injurious or aggressive. It's usually always complete bullshit, by the way, folks. Okay? They starve the kids there. They deprive them of sleep. They deprive them of proper nutrition. Yeah, they don't properly refrigerate their food. That's just on top of everything else. Let's not even get into the bizarre behavioral lessons. But for those that are new to the channel, whenever the JRC wants to get away with abuse, they'll claim that we're self-harming or aggressing. Hitting walls with her arms, head, and legs, and aggressive hitting staff. See? I gotta tell you, if you were shocking me day in and day out and starving me and depriving me of sleep, how do you think I'm gonna act? Hell, I can't even act proper without my first cup of coffee. ALAB and other staff were attempting to calm ALV, but she continued to aggress. So instead of trying to figure out why she wanted to be actually moved to the conference room, if there was some sort of sensory thing causing her pain, perhaps, instead of trying to communicate with her to figure out what was causing it, like a logical person would do, yeah. This is what happens when you have incompetent, untrained staff that has no business in a job like this. But moving on. ALV hit ALAB, and he went towards her with his arm up, making contact across her neck. ALV cried out and said, "He's hurting me," then asked I4 to replace ALAB because he choked her. I4 and I5 stated that ALAB was rough. I4 said he saw ALV scrunch her face in response to ALAB's action. I4 said that had ALV done to him what I4 saw him do to ALV, and he thinks it would have caused him I4 pain. ALV said that she felt pain in response to ALV's actions. Based on the totality of testimony and evidence, it is more likely than not that the actions of ALV caused ALV pain. So they're trying to justify it, minimize it, and trivialize it. But she was out of control and we had to restrain her. Why did it get to that point? You see, common sense is not something that they have a large supply of at the JRC. Any normal person might be trying to figure out what is wrong. Why does she feel the need to go into the conference room? Why does she feel the need to get away from everyone? What is triggering that sort of response where they have to get away, fight or flight, right? And then work on that. But oh no, we're going to like freaking dog piler. God. Moving on. I-4 stated that he saw I-5 from classroom C poke her head into the hallway to ask for assistance, and he responded. I-4 stated that he saw I-5. Oh, blah. I already read that. He stated that AOV was trying to leave her cubicle and was voicing threats to I-2. Oh, here we go. So, whenever they want to get away with shit, they always say we're threatening. Riddle me this, Batman. How threatening can one be when being restrained and restricted entirely on a 4-point board? Just saying. I-4 stated that the staff were attempting to calm ALV, and he assisted. I-4 stated that ALV wanted to go to an even more restrictive classroom, conference room, but that they were full. ALV continued to say she wanted to talk to someone and wanted to go elsewhere. In other words, something was going on. Something was wrong. Could have been an abusive situation. I-4 assisted staff in trying to calm ALV and prompted her to go to her cubicle. ALAB arrived to the room and joined in this effort. ALV continued to resist. Oh, God forbid we resist, you fuckers. Because what happens when they have a behavior shock? Try to voice anything to the outside world about our abuse. Shock. Oh, you breathe the wrong way. Shock. No, I'm not kidding. Check my other videos out. ALB directed ALV to sit on a mat in the main area of the room, but ALV continued to fight and resist the prompts to do this. ALAB and I-5 attempt to guide ALV back to her cubicle, and ALV continued to resist. ALAB initiated a supportive guide again and brought ALV forward to her cubicle, but she began slapping ALAB and hitting him. Yes, something is wrong at the cubicle. Maybe figure out what that is. I-4 said that he saw frustration in ALAB's face after ALV hit him. I-4 said then ALAB then raised his forearm and elbow and went directly towards ALV, making contact with her throat area, high on her neck. I-4 said that he was attempting to relieve ALAB, and as he spoke to him, ALAB adjusted his arm placement, and ALV bit him. I-4 stated that he saw ALV scrunch her face when ALV made contact with her neck, and I heard her verbally respond to ALAB's action. I-4 stated that ALAB done the same action to I-4, he would likely have experienced pain. I-4 is taller and larger than ALV. ALV also immediately spoke to I-4, asking if they had seen what ALAB had done, saying that ALAB had choked her. ALV had no marks on her neck, but she reported that ALAB was too rough. ALV described that her bite of ALAB preceded his putting her arm on his neck. ALAV reported that her mouth hurt, but she had no other injuries. Nursing notes reflect that ALV had a red lump to her head, where she was hit on a pole. I-5 stated that ALAV had an open cut to her elbow and a red bump on her head, both from ALV's own actions. Oh, of course they're gonna blame us for fucking everything. I-5 stated that she looked up when ALV had said she was being choked and saw that ALAB's forearm on ALV's throat. I-5 stated that she heard ALV say, "He's hurting me." I-5 stated that I-4 was trying to get ALAB to switch out, but that ALAB was not switching. I-5 stated that ALAB was a little rough. I-5 stated that she did not think that ALAB had spoken falsely about ALAB, noting that ALV speaks for herself and is usually accurate, as ALV has no fear of others, regardless of their size or strengths. I-6 said he didn't think that the scene sick ALABs at ALV's throat, but he was aware that ALV had said that ALAB had choked her. I-6 was unaware of injury to anyone. ALAB said that he had never put his hand on ALV's neck. When shown footage of the incident, ALAB said that he had a large jacket on, and that they may have looked like he was made contact when he did not. Oh, for fuck's sake. ALAB did say that ALV had caused injuries to his thumb, where he had a prior injury. ALAB was wearing a splint at the interview. ALAB denied causing harm to ALV. Of course they would. It's all the disabled person's fault. By the way, folks, if you want to know why somebody would be so aggressive, but you're just disabled and that's how you are, Tip. No, there's always a logical trigger. So dig deeply, my new subscribers, dig deeply. This place is messed up. I2 and I3 both stated that ALV had been having a hard time lately. I2 stated that ALV had some dangerous behaviors lately, including the attempting to run from staff. So she had decided that moving her to a conference room in another building was not safe. Oh, for fuck's sake. So, in other words, she was trying to get the fuck out of that hellhole. Yeah. But it's dangerous if she runs away. It's a lot more dangerous if she fucking stays. I'm going to show you why at the end of this video. ALV had been saying the same about I3. They said that ALV does this in an attempt to exert control. Oh, for fuck's sake. God forbid we exert control over what's happening to us. But that she always later apologizes. Yeah, why? I wonder why. I2 stated that ALV has a counselor at the school whom she meets with weekly and to whom she can always speak openly about her concerns. Oh, I'm sure she feels safe talking to one of your paid goons. Sure, Karen, sure. I8 confirmed that this was true, noting that she does not see ALV in the moment of her cries, but that she's available should ALV want to talk later when the crisis is calmed or at their regular sessions, which is complete nonsense, folks. Let me explain to you something about counseling and the JRC. You have to earn the right to get psychiatric help at the JRC by not having behaviors. Yeah. Although ALAB denied injuring ALV or attempting to harm her, the totality of testimony and evidence supports that he placed his arm across her neck in response to her having hitting him. ALV reported pain from this, and others reported seeing ALAB's arm there at the moment ALV complained. Video footage even appears to show ALV lifting slightly off the floor as ALAB has his arm on her neck. Okay, and that's, of course, a blank page. And we'll go ahead and get into a little bit more tomorrow. But for those who are new subscribers, I'm about to introduce you to something. Many of the people have seen this video on my channel before. You're about to learn all about what Stop the Shock is and what's going on. Alright? Okay. Okay, sorry about that. For some reason, pull up the video.
Screams of pain from a student at the Judge Rotenberg Center as he's tied down and shocked for hours. Good evening, I'm Mark Cochran.
Hi, everybody. Maria Stefanos, Fox Undercover's camera, the only one in court today, as a jury is given its first look at that disturbing video. We want to warn you that the video is tough to watch. Mike Beaudet reports.
This is what they do to us at the JRC.
This is the video that the Judge Rotenberg Center in Canton has fought long and hard to keep from the public eye. The center convinced a judge 8 years ago to seal it, and the battle continued right up until it was played in court, as lawyers for the center asked the judge to bar our camera from recording it. The judge said no, and now for the first time ever, the public can see for itself what these controversial electric shocks look like in use. Dramatic video of New York teenager Andre McCollins, restrained face down, a helmet on his head, screaming for help. Judge Rotenberg Center calls it treatment.
I was shocked when I was 16 or 17. I'm 31 that day.
As McCollins' attorney just described, the teenager was shocked 31 times in all that day in 2002. McCollins is suing the Canton-based center, calling it torture. Lawyers for the center and its clinicians say McCollins needed aversive therapy because he was aggressive.
These are dramatic tapes. There's no question about that. But the treatment plan at the Rotenberg Center, the treatment plan that Andre had in place on October 25 was followed.
It was an emotional day for McCollins' mother, Cheryl, who was in court as video was played from the beginning of Andre's ordeal, when he was shocked and restrained after refusing to take off his coat.
You see that? Because he refused to move his coat. And that's what they call behavior.
For him to be tortured, terrorized, and abused. I had
To
no
be
idea.
shocked and tortured over.
No idea that they tortured the children in the school.
Cheryl testified what her son was like when she visited him 3 days later.
I couldn't turn Andre's head to the left, to the right. He was just staring straight. I took my hands and I went like this. He didn't blink.
Cheryl McCollins did get Andre to Children's Hospital that day, where he was diagnosed with acute stress response caused by the shocks. The jury also heard her testify about watching the video and hearing staff members laughing while their son was on the floor. We should see more video on Wednesday in court as Cheryl McCollins returns to the witness stand. I'm Mike Beaudet for Fox Undercover.
Okay, so that was done, folks, back. That's when 2012, 2013, everything went viral, right? And then we fought last year all the way until 2020 to get the shocks banned, and the FDA banned them finally in May of 2020. Only for the DC Circuit Court on July the 7th to overturn that ban, making it completely legal for them to do this to the students. And that's just for starters what they do. FDA did fight back, and they also wanted to get an appeal. But unfortunately, just like JD in the UK, the appeal to get all 11 of the DC Circuit Court judges to rehear the case was denied. So we've got 2 chances left in regards to this. We either get the Massachusetts legislature to stop this nonsense, or we have to have the FDA go back and revise everything and put forward the ban again. The problem is with these two choices is that this is just the very least of what they do at the JRC. Their food contingent programs are designed to where you have to earn your right to eat. Yes, you've heard that correctly. And again, if you don't believe me, I have the links to all of this, including their food contingent program. Autista Hoya has all of it too. See, we back our claims up as folks who've been fighting these bastards. I've been fighting them for 14 years. We back it up with court-proven evidence. Actual evidence. Not just testimonies, evidence. So please go ahead and take a look at that, alright? Join the fight. Alright, on that note, we're going to go ahead and close out this morning, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject. And the few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So, folks, please don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, don't forget to hit the comments, and feed that algorithm. I do appreciate your time this morning. And as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.